So a few weeks ago, from obviously when I'm recording this video, I made a video on the possible solutions to the Sonic writing issue, and one of the points I brought up was how the stories cannot be restrictive anymore. And basically I made the point that Sonic writers should not be as restricted as they are. They shouldn't be super restricted to what they can add into the stories. If you look at Sonic games like Sonic Forces and Sonic Lost World, those games, a lot of Sonic's core stuff are left out, like the emeralds, like the like Sonic's core stuff is not in the stories anymore, and the stories just feel bland and stale. So I'm here to say that I think a possible solution to the writing issues are to add the Chaos Emeralds back in the stories. So now, I don't mean like specifically the Chaos Emeralds. Like I think the Chaos Emeralds would, help. But I mean like maybe the next game they add the Chaos Emeralds in, and now the writers can see how much they can do with Sonic, so they can do a lot more with the writing and make the writing a lot more dynamic and a lot more interesting. Because just the Chaos Emeralds alone gives the writers so much possibilities to what they can do with the story. So am I saying that the Chaos Emeralds are a possible solution to the writing problem? Yes. But am I saying that that's the only thing that's wrong with the writing? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if they bring back the Chaos Emeralds, I feel like that the writers will realize how much more Sonic has. They will actually start adding more to the stories. If they do a lot more research with the Chaos Emeralds, they can do so much more with the story. The stories will have a lot more depth to them. Emeralds do open up a large possibility in writing options, and I just feel like the Sonic writing without the emeralds is just like really bland, and it's just like, look at Unleashed for instance. Unleashed, Sonic had the emeralds, but he had to use the emeralds to restore them and restore the Gaia Temple. So of course, like, that was good use of the emeralds, and at the end of the game, obviously you turn Super Sonic. I feel like they should go back to that format. Maybe add a little bit more to it, but like there's so much stuff you can do with this. You can add new things. You can make it like I just made my Sonic Controversy series, a year or two ago. I made Dark Emeralds. Dark Emeralds hold dark energy, and they turn Sonic into Dark Sonic. Something like that. Like, they can easily create something like that. Create a new form. Create new origins for Sonic. Just reboot the series, because I feel like the series in the past few years has just not been it really hasn't been what it used to be. It feels like a whole new game franchise, and it just like the core stuff and the background of each character is just thrown out the window. Like Rouge used to be a jewel thief. I mean, now Rouge can't be a jewel thief because the emeralds aren't in the game anymore. Knuckles used to have a lot more depth and a lot more character when he was protecting the Master Emerald, but now that there's no Master Emerald, that is out the window too. And that's why Knuckles is looked at as a joke now, because Knuckles doesn't have any more significance in any stories because he doesn't do what he does best anymore. Even the gameplay itself, let's move away from the writing for a second. The gameplay itself will really like improve if we are dependent on getting the emeralds in order to do something in the story. If you don't have the emeralds, then the story will be harder, or we won't be able to do this unless you get the emeralds. A lot more stuff can be done with these emeralds, and then they can explore with the emeralds, and they can figure out more things that can add to the story. The emeralds are a nice building block on a lot more possibilities with writing in Sonic games. I really don't know why they just took them out of the stories, because Generations had them, but they were just in there just to collect them, really. And to like restore some stuff, but like really the emeralds weren't used that good in Generations, and the emeralds were just a bonus, and in these other games like Forces and Lost World, that they weren't actually in the game. They weren't actually within the game, and they even tried to make us pay for it for a second there. Why make us pay for something that has been free in other video games before this? Like, make us pay for something that's been within the video game itself in the past? Do y'all think that the writing issue will be solved if they start adding the emeralds back into the stories? Because I feel like that if they add the emeralds back in the stories, there's so much stuff you can do with the stories. There's so much more possibilities. There's so much stuff you can dive into. Stories can have more depth. They have the actual gameplay will be more dynamic. You know, there could be new forms. There's new stuff could be added to the series, you know, to make it a lot more, you know, interesting. A lot of the characters that have no roles can actually finally have roles now, and the roles can be a lot more dynamic just because the emeralds exist. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. Remember to leave a comment in the comment section below if you agree with me or disagree with me. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see y'all in the next video.